February was a much slower month for the Nintendo Switch's library, and while March isn't going to be too insane either, it's still going to be much more impressive. February mainly consisted of demos for Daemon X Machina and Yoshi's Crafted World, along with the Battle Royale game we didn't know we wanted. Now with March around the corner, we have a few more tantalizing Nintendo Switch titles, one of which is a first-party Nintendo game that we've been waiting for almost 2 years. So without any further delay, let's get right into these 10 Nintendo Switch games coming out in March. Kickstarter can be a great thing. Over the past few years, we've seen games return in the form of direct sequels or spiritual successors, and the first game on this list is a franchise that has been dormant for over a decade. ToeJam and Earl are back in the groove with ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove. The funky fresh duo have crash-landed on some whack planet called Earth, and with the help of some friends, they must find the lost pieces of the Ratmaster rocket and head home. If you enjoy 90s nostalgia, then ToeJam and Earl has your name written all over it, especially if you're a fan of the series, because the original creator, Greg Johnson, has returned. The gameplay of ToeJam and Earl falls under the roguelike genre, and you'll take on a variety of zany enemies. You can easily play this game by yourself or with up to 3 other friends. On March 1st, you'll be able to relive the 90s with ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove for only $20 American dollars. Question: have you ever heard of a shawarma? No? Me either, but I hear they're delicious. So delicious, in fact, that Vikings will fight their way through Vikingland, Persia, and even Hell to get the perfect one in Swords and Soldiers 2 Shawarmageddon. Get it? Shawarma in Armageddon? Puns. In this epic title, you will take control of the warrior Redbeard along with 3 different factions: a Viking warband, an army of Persians, and brutish demons from Hell. Even when the single-player adventure has been completed, you can take the battle online through Nintendo Switch Online with 1v1 multiplayer. While you wait for a match, you can play some skirmishes or action-packed minigames. Swords and Soldiers 2 Shawarmageddon will be released for $15, but if you pre-order now, you can get a discount down to $12.74. Who doesn't like saving money? The next game on the agenda is one simply called Creepy Road. I don't know about you, but to me this game looks a little more crazy than creepy. You play as a perfectly normal dude named Flint Trucker, who is on an insane quest to win back the love of his life, Angela. Only problem is that the road he goes down is filled with a variety of wacky enemies like, are those zombies? They don't exactly look like them. And flying elephants? Okay, can somebody look up a plot synopsis for me? I tried, but I couldn't find one. Anyway, Creepy Road will give you a large arsenal of weapons for you to deal with these cuckoo enemies. Weapons like revolvers, shotguns, and other weird contraptions with unexpected effects. All of these will be used to take on over 30 types of unique enemies, each with their own crazy hand-drawn designs. If you're in the mood for an unusual side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, then Creepy Road will be releasing for $13. If you pre-order this game as well, you will too receive a discount. Have you ever had a dream that felt so real? Well, in Unknown Fate, you won't know what's real and what isn't. In this game, you will pass seamlessly through the real world and a bizarre universe filled with strange characters and unfamiliar artifacts. In this first-person adventure, you will solve puzzles and fight enemies in order to get a grasp on just what the hell is going on. The more you play through, the more you will find that this universe has more questions than answers. It will gnaw your brain. You might even go crazy. But you must push on in order to figure out what this universe is and why it chose you to be in it. This game will also be coming out on other platforms, so it'll be interesting to see how it fares on the portable Nintendo Switch. Unknown Fate will be releasing digitally for $15. Well, baseball season is upon us, which means it's time for our annual dosage of baseball video games. This particular series has been releasing games since 1987. Do you know how many World Series the Cubs have won since then? Anyway, RBI Baseball 19 continues the trend of baseball video games on the Nintendo Switch, having supported the system since 2017. Yeah, not even Madden can say that. According to the press release, RBI Baseball 19 will include new animations, updated player models, every official 2019 uniform, improved ball physics, and more. That's nice and all, guys, but where was this in RBI Baseball 18? Better late than never, I guess. Joking aside, you can manage your own team across multiple seasons, trade players, etc. And the roster of over 165 players includes the likes of Jackie Robinson, Reggie Jackson, and more. If you're a fan of baseball and the Nintendo Switch, RBI Baseball 19 seems like a no-brainer, especially if the game only costs $30. Now then, Madden, it's your turn. Here's a relatable moment. You ever play a video game and think, man, if only I can change these stupid rules? Well, then we might just have a game for you. It's called Baba Is You. Yes, a peculiar title indeed, but the concept is just too good to pass up. This game will take you through multiple levels with the rules set as physical objects you can push. It is quite literally a game changer. By manipulating these rules, you can either win the level or just mess around for a bit. For example, you can turn yourself into a rock, turn patches of grass into dangerously hot obstacles, and even change the goal you need to reach to something completely different. The concept for the game is so crazy that it just might work. And with over 200 levels included, you'll have plenty of time to make or break the rules. Baba Is You will be available digitally on the Nintendo Switch eShop for $15. And here we are on the first Final Fantasy game of this list. This one is more of a spin-off than an actual Final Fantasy game, but it's worth bringing up. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, Everybody. Everybody, I love plays on words. Anyway, Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon has you play as the real star of the Final Fantasy series, the Chocobo. And if you know anything about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, this is basically that, but with Chocobo. The game will have you go through multiple dungeons, hence the name, and then make them your buddies right after defeating them. Here's the catch though. The world will change around you, but only if you move. So if you're trying to come up with the best strategy, you can just stop to take a rest and figure it out with no stress needed. However, if you do get stressed, then you can bring in a buddy to explore the dungeon with you in some local 2-player co-op. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody will be released for $40 digitally. If this isn't the Final Fantasy game that tickles your fancy though, then stick around, because we got one you might be interested in right after this next game. You know what they say, 2 Yarnies are better than 1. After Swedish developer Coldwood Interactive blew us away with the incredibly wholesome platformer Unravel in 2016, they announced and released the sequel Unravel 2 during last year's E3. Of course, some of us asked, where the Switch port at? Fortunately, we are getting the Switch port very soon on March 22nd. Yarny is back, and this time he has another Yarny, and they form a special bond that will help them get through even the toughest of obstacles. While it is very possible to play as these 2 characters by yourself, this is a game best experienced with a friend or loved one in local co-op. Here the 2 Yarnies will go through levels that represent the bonds we make with family and friends, driving home the idea that you'll never have to go through life's hardships alone. While you may run into some enemies in the form of wildlife, the real challenge in this game are the physics-based puzzles that were present in the last one. Only this time, they are now designed to be played with 2 people. The first Unravel wasn't a perfect game by a long shot, but its themes are what made it special. And now we will be able to play the sequel on the Nintendo Switch. No price has been revealed yet, but if it's $20 on the other consoles, then it's safe to assume it will also be $20 on the Switch. At this rate, it seems that we won't be getting the Final Fantasy VII remake on the Nintendo Switch, or the PS4, or the Xbox One. Hell, the earliest might be PlayStation 6. Oh well, while we wait, we might as well experience the original game on the platform best suited for it. The PlayStation Classic. Just kidding, Nintendo Switch. Witness the game that brought Final Fantasy into the 3rd dimension, and made a ton of young gamers fans of JRPGs. While some may argue that 7 isn't the best of the Final Fantasy games, it is without a doubt one of the most important ones. And to think that the Switch version will be the first time we've seen this game on a Nintendo console. This version, like the other recent ports on PS4 and PC, will include some quality of life improvements, such as a 3x speed booster and the ability to turn off random encounters. The story is of course where the game's legacy stems from. You play as Cloud, a former soldier of the evil Shinra Corporation, who has joined the Avalanche Rebellion to stop Shinra Inc. from sucking up all the planet's Mako energy. So why not prepare for the remake these next few years by playing Final Fantasy VII on the Nintendo Switch. March is concluding with a bang this year. A bang in the form of Yoshi's Crafted World. After Nintendo and Feelgood impressed us with the wholesomely spectacular Yoshi's Woolly World on Wii U, they decided to give us another Yoshi experience rather than a Switch port of Woolly World. Yoshi's Crafted World brings our green protagonist into a world of arts and crafts. This time, however, not on a strict 2D path. Yoshi will be able to throw his eggs outside of the plane to attack enemies, solve puzzles, and find hidden collectibles. These games aren't particularly difficult, but they are if you're a completionist, so this added layer of depth will make completing it even more challenging. And when you complete a level, you will be able to replay it with a flipped perspective. There's also the option to play it in co-op mode with a friend or a young one. No doubt this game will be perfect for the little tykes who aren't that great at video games. If you are still wondering if you should pick up Yoshi's Crafted World, there is a free demo available on the eShop. I played it myself, and I was thoroughly impressed. But those are just 10 Nintendo Switch games coming out in the month of March. Are there any on this list that we didn't mention that you're excited for? Be sure to comment them down below. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Alejandro of Rodega Creative. He is working on a game of his own that might come out on the Nintendo Switch. So if you could visit his website and buy one of his awesome shirts to help fund this game, we would greatly appreciate it, and so would he. Now then, be sure to click that thumbs up button if you liked this video, and if you are new, subscribe and press that shiny notification bell to know when we upload another episode of Nintendo Switch games. We'd also like to thank our glorious patrons over at patreon.com/commonrealm, and in particular, our royal producer, Kenyatta Ali. Check out our Patreon page to find out how you can join the ranks in exchange for some awesome perks. But for now, this has been the Commonwealth Realm, and we will see you girls and guys soon.